Yo, what's up? This is Hal in Philly. How's it going? Right now, I'm in my car listening to Dave Canyon on Dumbing It Down with Dave, the fastest podcast on earth. It's about pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all.
Baby left me, my best friend's not at home. Can't get that woman off my mind. I've never been the broody kind, but there's still one thing makes me come alive. Yeah, I'm gone for a drive.
The following podcast is rated D for dumb. You're listening to Dumbing It Down with Dave, the fastest podcast on earth. Listen to Dave commute to and from work on the New York State Thruway in his 2008 Kia Rio LX. He talks about pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. Join Dave as he asks and tells you how life ought to be. And now, here's Dave.
That's right. Here's Dave Canyon. Your one and only solo podcast host for Dumbing It Down with Dave. Are you ready to dumb it down? Oh, that's good. That's good. It's Saturday morning. You're up and about. You're ready to go, and that's what time it is here. Saturday, February 1st, 10:43 a.m. Leaving Rensselaer, New York. On my way home, I have a little quick behind the scenes story to tell you, and then we'll get on with the rest of the show. But, it is Saturday, February 1st, 10:43. I am leaving Rensselaer on my way to the New York State Thruway. For those of you that don't know, I record this show during my commute to and from work. Dumbing It Down with Dave is all about pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. And just in the last 5-10 minutes, I was searching for my intro, which I spent a lot of time creating. Because I do all my editing on my phone. I don't have an editing bay. Anybody who doesn't know the show, let me tell you, I do this phone on my iPhone 6S. It's been the recording studio for Dumbing It Down with Dave, I think for the last 2 years or so. Before that, like the last, 60 episodes, maybe, I don't even know. I don't know what episode. I can look it up, but it's been, a whole bunch of episodes that I've been recording on the 6S. From the driver's seat of whatever vehicle I'm driving at the time. I know it says Kia in the intro. That's Alex Exum doing the intro there, alexexum.com. But I had a problem this morning, and I had to go find the intro. It was in the selection. I had like these 6 buttons, and one of the 6 buttons, actually it's 5 buttons, and one of the 5 buttons is the intro that I created. And this morning it was there. It said it was there. You press the button and nothing happens. In previous episodes, I've talked about my phone eating a show. It would just like eat a show. Now it ate my intro, which is interesting because I've been telling myself to create yet another intro. I like to change it up a little bit. And I've been putting it off because I've been busy with other stuff. And this morning, I guess I had no choice but to create a new intro on the fly. So I'm sitting here like, oh, where is this intro? The Alex Exum intro. Where is that on my phone? Where's this? Where's that? So I had to put it all together, and I want to go home. And I'm sitting here and I'm pressing this button. I'm doing all this sound editing, technical stuff, which is really not my forte. But I did it, and I got the applause in there because I had just done an intro, and I said, wait a minute, where's the applause? Got to be applause. Even though it's digital applause, still, it's nice to come into a room where people are clapping for you, and you guys like it, I like it, and we all love the song. I almost went without the song, but everybody that hears Going for a Drive by Hal Aaron, who I didn't thank in the previous episode, but the song Going for a Drive by Hal and Philly, everybody likes it. Nobody has yet to say, that's not a good song. It's a great song. In fact, I'll tell you a quick little story. So there's a little behind-the-scenes icebreaker. I'll tell you a quick story. Last week, I was on the New York State Thruway, and I pulled over at one of the rest areas, Plattekill. It's called Plattekill Rest Area. Anyways, that's the town it's in. Don't ask me how to spell it, but it's called Plattekill. And there's used to be a Howard Johnson's there like 100 years ago, but now it's it's a rest area on the side of the Thruway. You go to the bathroom, you buy food, whatever. I usually do one of everything. I take a nap, I go to the bathroom, I eat food. I do it all. It's an all-purpose rest area. And one of our fans of the show, Jeff, drove up too. He's a truck driver for a different company. But he's commented here. And he's one of the guys, he is the guy actually responsible for exposing me to the rest of the company. It's kind of like a double-edged sword. I've talked about that before. I was happy with my double life, nobody knowing what I was doing in my private life, because I am a private person, which is, I guess, ironic, right? Because I do a podcast, I did stand-up comedy, I've done commercials, I've done movies. I've done stuff that you're out there in front of the people. But I don't consider the people I work with people. Most of them are animals. And nice animals that don't bite, but I don't need them in my life. So I never told anybody. But Jeff, in his way, with good intentions, told somebody, and whatever. You know how it goes. One person tells two people. And most people, by the way, have been very nice. They say, oh, I heard your podcast, I liked it, or whatever. They say things, I don't know if they're true or not, but they say nice things to me, whatever. I always poo-poo. I go, oh, yeah, whatever. Because I'm at work, and I don't need, corporations knowing that I'm speaking my mind. They don't want me to speak my mind. They don't want me to be an individual. Very few companies want you, especially in the trucking industry. Nobody wants to hear, me, oh, you speak your mind? Oh, what is it? What do you say? Do you talk about us? Do you talk about, filing Chapter 11? Do you mention the company's name? Do you divulge secrets of the milk industry? Or, listen, I don't know any secrets of the milk industry. I don't know anything about anything. All I know is that I just was enjoying my privacy. But it's sort of worked out, People know about it. You'll see Jeff comment from time to time. You'll see Pat comment often, and he does it well. Often very humorous. So he's got a knack for commenting. So I'm okay with it now. But when anybody mentions it, I just kind of like, how do I get out of this? What's my exit strategy? I think if I played the banjo, I'd be like, yeah, I'm a banjo player. Yeah, I mean, nobody knows I'm a kazooer. That doesn't seem to catch any fire. Oh, he's a kazooer? Oh. But nobody cares about that. Nobody wants to hear me play the kazoo. But if I was a banjo player or a guitar player, whatever. Maybe if I was a stand-up comic, they'd go, oh, you stand-up comic? Tell us a joke. Tell us a joke. Like, I listen. I don't do jokes, What do you do? Is it funny? No, not really. I'm not very good. Don't come see me. Don't look for me. Don't have anything to do with me. You stay in your life. Go drink your beer. Go watch the Super Bowl. Go sit in your basement with your Buffalo Bills clock, your Buffalo Bills blanket, your New England Patriots paraphernalia, your jerseys, all your stuff. Do that. Do your NASCAR. Do your drinking. Do your compulsive drinking. Whatever. Whatever. Half of these guys like alcoholics and smokers, and I can't imagine how these people are. I don't know how these people pass a physical. Some of them. I don't know. I don't know how they walk. But anyway, nice guys for the most part. But I'll once I leave this company, I'll never see them. I'll never see any of them ever again. Maybe one guy, maybe two, but probably not. I'm very solo, especially now that I've gotten rid of some of my depleters. I've moved on. So there's a little behind the scenes of the recording thing. It all worked out. I think the outro worked, so I'll have the outro. And I've been ending the show at 30 minutes. That's pretty good. Sometimes you'll hear like an abrupt ending, like I don't really get to the final, the end of the outro, but I promised the people at Mile High Radio, milehighhiradio.com, I promised them that I would just end it at 30 minutes. I got to end it at 30 minutes. Can't go over. You got to know how to work this stuff. You got to pay attention. And that's a big thing for me. Paying attention. You got to pay attention. So there you go. So I explained the behind the scenes. And I explained a little bit. So seeing Jeff. It was nice to see Jeff. We had a nice conversation. He gave me a little critique, a little compliment and critique, face to face, which is, interesting for me. It's okay. It's all good. The critiques were constructive criticism. I don't mind constructive criticism. I'm glad he didn't say, your show really sucks. It's been sucking. You suck. This whole thing sucks. And if he did say that, I have to go, okay, well, you're a moron and I'm moving on. The show, I do my best to not have it suck. Is it sucking right now because I'm just going on about nothing? No, this is human behavior. Actually, it's technical behavior because, who knew that you never know. Live radio is even worse. Live podcasting. I've heard so many horror shows and stories. I don't know if you can hear that noise, but those are my sunglasses sliding on my dashboard. Let me see if I can reach that. Oh, I can't reach it. Anyway, so live radio is horrible because so many things happen. I've been listening to certain live shows and things don't click, so that's always like fun because you're live. People are expecting you at a certain time, and then you're like messing around with buttons and knobs, and it's very frustrating. But recorded radio was frustrating as well because I didn't know that the intro was going to work. I didn't know that this phone was going to eat my shows, a couple of my shows. I didn't know that. So that's depressing, but at least it's working. And, we're 11 minutes in. We haven't talked about anything, but you get some behind-the-scenes stuff. And thank you, Jeff, for saying hello and giving me that constructive criticism. I think I've taken it to heart, and I've applied that. I usually do when somebody critiques me in a way that I think is constructive. I think I'll take it to heart. I'll do it. Pat has said some things to me, and I kind of go, okay, we'll give that a try. Nothing really outrageous and out of the ordinary. Nobody says anything crazy that I can't adjust. And, I have to be open-minded to the possibilities in life, that I don't know everything there is to know about talking in public or being on the radio or being on a podcast. So I'm open-minded like that. If there's anything else, I'm open-minded to the possibilities of life. That's something I used to say all the time, used to drive my wife crazy. Because what do you think? I go, I don't know. I'm open to the possibilities of life. And she goes, oh, stop saying that. Just tell me, do you like it or you don't like it? I said, I don't really have a particular opinion. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, if we buy it, we buy it, as long as it's affordable. You know what I'm saying? I'm usually pretty easygoing about things. I'm not open-minded about calamari. Although I've tried it. I'm like, I don't need tentacles on my plate. Calamari is not my thing. Whatever that is, I don't need that. Lobster, I don't do a lot of seafood. I do mackerel now. I'm eating a lot of mackerel. But, all right, so there's that. Today I'm just going to keep it simple. I could talk politics stuff, but I'm not really prepared to talk politics stuff. I do have something in particular I want to produce. Maybe if I have some time this weekend, I'll put a whole bunch of stuff together, and I'll do a show on Monday about something I really want to talk about. Maybe I won't. I don't know. We'll see. It's kind of getting old news now. It's definitely related to the Kobe Bryant thing, but it's a different take. I try to have a different take on it, a different perspective, something that is not discussed definitely on TV, and I haven't heard it being discussed on podcasts. I've heard one guy discuss the situation, and he had I'm not going to say an interesting take. I'm going to say he had a typical take. And I don't want to be typical. I try not to be typical. If I am, I apologize. I try to do better than that. So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to go back in time to a couple of shows ago. Let's hopefully I didn't ruin that. And what's this over here? Okay. I don't want that. Let me see what's going on with that. Okay. Where is it? There it is. It's right there. Good. All right. We're still recording. I think I have 15 minutes to go. I got to be aware of the time. And let's go back to Why Are They Out to Get Me, episode 191. Episode 191. In this episode, Dave talks about a myriad of things connected to his workplace and human behavior in general. That's pretty much true. Let's see what the comments were for episode 191. I like to go back. I really do appreciate you guys commenting. I really do. And a lot of you guys really comment often. You comment a lot. There's no limit to the comments. And if you really wanted to, you could tweet me at dumbwithdave, or you could email me at dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com. But this is why I like Spreaker, which I talked about in the last episode. There's a Spreaker box, and you can type in anything you want, and I'll read it. All right, the first person to comment on episode 191 was Patrick Maruki. He's been commenting a lot. I got 2 Pats now. What are the odds of having 2 Pats? Oh, by the way, before I get to Patrick Maruki's comment for episode 191, let me tell you something. I have a friend, an acquaintance friend, whatever. Childhood friend, acquaintance, it doesn't matter. He's not a depleter. He actually came to one of my comedy shows once. Out of all my friends, very few ever came to my comedy shows, but he did. And, Patrick Maruki, not Patrick Maruki, a friend of mine from my childhood. His name is Phil. Anyway, Phil and his wife, Lisa, I'm not going to mention the last name. Listen to this. Their husband and wife, what are the odds of this? They are husband and wife, and they both share the same birthday. They both share the same birthday. And I said, what is that? That's like 1 in a million. How often do you meet somebody, fall in love, and marry them, and then you have the same birthday? And I wonder what that's like when you both discover that. Like, you're just dating, and like, hey, what are you doing this week? Oh, I got to go, to this thing. My family's throwing me a birthday party. Oh, when's your birthday? Oh, Tuesday. Get out of here. That's my birthday. Oh, see, now we got to get married. I don't know. I don't know how that played in, but I don't talk to Phil at all. But, we could if we wanted to, I guess. But I'm kind of curious how that happened. And if I had the technical ability, I would call them and say, hey, can I interview you real quickly? I just want to know what that was like when you first discovered you both had the same birthday. That's kind of interesting. But I did look it up on Google, and the odds are not 1 in a million. Apparently, the odds are like 1 in 365. I guess that can't be right. That doesn't sound right to me. Just because there's 365 days in the year, I think the odds would be a lot greater than 1 in 365. Anyway, so there you go. Husband and wife have the same birthday. I found that fascinating. All right, Patrick Maruki, first commenter on episode 191. I think it's about time you did a Dumbing It Down TED Talk. Wow, that's quite a compliment. TED Talks are interesting. Patrick Maruki is right. He's okay for saying it's not right. He's okay for saying that. It's a nice thank you for the compliment. I've had other people say that to me, but here's the thing: I think you got to pay for that. I don't think you really get picked for that. I don't really know how that works. I never looked it up. I don't know what I would talk about, but maybe one day that would be interesting. All right, Patrick Maruki says have a contest for the comment of the week. Yeah, I could do that. I'm weird about contests. When I hosted my open mic, my comedy open mic at Duke's Last Laugh years ago, the owner of the club and his son, the two owners, co-owners, whatever, said to me, hey, why don't you have funniest comic of the week, of the night? I'm like, okay. I'm really busy. I'm really exhausted every Saturday because I would come from work and I would host this open mic, and then I would go back to work after, I never seem to have time to do anything without having to come from work or go to work. I'm a working man. I'm a truck driver. That's the way it works. And I work nights, so it's whatever. And I never have enough seniority until just recently to get weekends off and all that. So anyway, it's an old story I've talked about before. But who's going to judge? Who's going to judge this? I'm busy running a show, and then I got to pick somebody. I know these comedians. I know all 15 of them. And what's the prize going to be? Who's going to do it? Is it going to be money? Because, people are going to say to me, I was so much funnier than that other guy. I needed that money to, whatever. If they were going to sit in the audience all night and they were going to decide, that would have been fine with me. But they're not going to do that. They're going to leave it up to me to decide. And if I pick one guy or one girl, one comedian who's the funniest, that means 14 other people are going to be upset with me. Unless they're not delusional. They know that guy was better. But I got to tell you, looking back, I think only several people would have won all the time, because there was only a really few really funny people. So contests I find interesting depending on what side of the contest you're on, and I wanted nothing to do with that. But Patrick, that's a great thought. Have a contest for the comment of the week. But how would that work? Who would judge it? I would have to judge. I don't have time for all that. But every so often, and it's been very random, folks. So for those of you who haven't had the comment of the week posted up on Facebook, it's not because nobody was good enough or whatever. And if you haven't been picked, don't worry about it. You're all great. It's just that it's just really a random thing. Like I have to be sitting there going, okay, I have time. I'm going to do that thing on Facebook where I put the colored background and then I put the comment of the week. But I got to tell you, if you put too much of the comment, it eliminates the background. And I don't know how to keep the background and put in the whole thing. So I think one or both of the comments that I've already put up there on Facebook for comment of the week, I think I had it edited for some reason. I could take a screenshot of it, but then I can't just get that comment. I have to get other comments. It becomes a whole thing. So Patrick, great idea. If anybody has an idea of how to do it, fine. But it's just a time situation. And then there's the sensitivity issue, because I don't want to offend somebody else and go, wait a minute, I'm much funnier than that guy. Well, my comment was a better comment. It doesn't have to be the funniest, because that's not what Patrick is saying. He's saying a comment of the week. It doesn't have to be the funniest one. Of course not. It could be the best comment. But they're all really great comments. And I'm not just saying that to appease everybody. It's just that it's hard on my end. Great idea, though. Patrick Maruki also writes, But can we trust where the recycles we put out every week are really recycled? That's another great comment, by the way, Patrick, because I found that at my job, we have a big blue bin for paper recycling. We have a big blue bin for plastic recycling, which constantly gets filled and overfilled real quickly every time. They empty it eventually, but it always gets overfilled and then it becomes, a disaster. And then a lot of guys are idiots. They put paper in the plastic in the paper. They put garbage wherever they want, and it's not 100%. It's not proper. Plus, there's smaller recycling bins all over the office, and people throw garbage in them. And I found out one day, I think it was a supervisor that told me, that we don't recycle at all. We have 2 huge recycle bins, and every so often, I guess when nobody's looking, one of the supervisors takes the bins, walks down this small stairway that we have, goes out to the dumpster, and throws everything in the dumpster. All those plastic bottles, I was told, go right in the dumpster. We're really bad at recycling. And the garage, the shop that we have, even worse. They don't recycle, well, they recycle metal, but they get money for that. But anyway, so good point about the recycles. Linda Irwin writes, I have patience for your sitting on juicy stories. I figured you will tell me when you get ready to tell us. Not going to lose sleep over it, LOL. All right, there you go. And it's funny, she writes LOSE, lose. Lose and loose. 2 words that I never know how to spell it. I'm just admitting that to you. Do you have words that you can't spell? Lose and loose. Every time it comes to the time where I have to spell lose or loose, I have to actually go in Google and go, I know it's LOSE or LOOSE, but I have to look at the definition. I can never remember which one is which. I'm going to assume loose is LOOSE and lose is LOSE, but I have a hard time remembering that. All right. Linda Irwin also writes, I have not figured out how they get along in McCall, Idaho yet, so if you find out, let me know. I think that had to do with snow and all that other stuff. Linda Irwin also writes, I have to live where there are trees, flowers, and water. No desert living for me. There again, no desert living for me. I almost said no dessert living for me. Desert and dessert. I can never remember which one's which. I should do a whole show. Actually, I have an idea for an entire podcast series. I'm not going to divulge right now, but I have an idea for a series. But one of the things in that series would be the inability to spell simple words like desert or dessert. All right, there we go. I got a feeling we're running out of time. Let me just check, and then we'll get to the next comment. 22 minutes. All right, there we go. We're doing okay. So that means 7 minutes left at 11:10. All right, it's 11:03 at 11:10. I got to stop. Well, 11:09. All right, where is it? All right. Patrick Mason wrote, today I tuned in at 12:30 p.m. and again at 10:20 p.m. ODing on the dumb. Oh, ODing on the dumb. ODING, ODing on the dumb. Patrick Mason wrote that. Patrick Mason writes, inside joke, Ralph smokes so much he could smell his own breath. Ugh. Ugh. You have to know Ralph. Okay, that's an inside joke. Patrick Mason wrote, past, present, and future are all history. Good point. I remember that comment. It was about the way we use the word future, the way we use the word history. Past, present, and future are all history. Very good. Patrick Mason wrote, it's Saturday and Dave is headed home. Normal life. Yeah, baby. I love going home on Saturdays. Love it. Patrick Mason wrote, cliffhanger drama at the... cliffhanger, comma, drama at the farm, comma, stay tuned. I like the use of the commas. Commas is one of my favorite, whatever you call those things. I use commas a lot. I think once upon a time, I had people comment on me about overusing commas. But I use them when I know how to use them. I don't know. Patrick Mason wrote, it's podcast in a car cast in a dumbcast. So he meant to write, it's a podcast in a car cast in a dumbcast. Yeah, that's true. All great comments. All you guys. Great comments of the week. Patrick Mason wrote, human behavior at the farm is lacking at best. That is true. Okay, I can't read that one because I don't know. Nobody knows who that guy is. Your wife wins comment of the week. Where did Radio Dave come from? Yeah. Okay, there you go. So maybe I should have Pat judge it all. All right. Yeah, Pat, you want to be a judge, Patrick? You can be the judge. Your wife wins comment of the week. Where did Radio Dave come from? Yeah, it happens all the time. 1 minute we're talking, next minute she goes, where did that voice come from? I go, I don't know. I'm in the kitchen. What do you want me to do? We have great acoustics in the kitchen. Patrick Mason wrote, great show. Fast 30 minutes, leaving me wanting more. Well, there you go. Thank you, Pat and Linda. All right, that was episode 191. Let's go to episode 192. Let me check the time. All right, we got 4 minutes left. All right, we're 25 minutes in. I got to make sure that we're going to quickly go through episode 192. I wanted to go through them all, but we don't have the time. In this episode, Dave continues on what he talked about in the previous episode, 191, and discusses the particulars of his job, which includes a recent incident where he was written up for wearing earphones at work and the punishment that followed. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do all of these. So who was the first person to comment on 192? Was Patrick Mason. It's 2:56 p.m. and it's time to get my dumb on. Patrick Mason wrote, sitting here at Northern Dutchess Hospital, getting down with the dumb. Yeah, Patrick, hope you're feeling better. It's got a little situation there. It's got to stay on top of it. Patrick Mason wrote, 1 minute in and Dave's already sounding dumb. Kidding only, in parenthesis. Good job, Patrick. Patrick Mason wrote, the suspense is killing me. He also wrote, your secret is safe with me. I'm not really sure what that was about, but yeah, I appreciate it. Whatever I said, if I said I don't want you to divulge anything, yeah. Oh, yeah, I think I was talking about my supervisors that wrote me up. The two dum-dums with my cousin Vinny window. Patrick Mason wrote, someone once said to me, they are asleep at the wheel, but another said to me, they never got behind the wheel. Someone, I don't remember reading this the first time. Someone once said to me they are asleep at the wheel, but another said to me they never got behind the wheel. All right, I don't know what that means. Patrick Mason wrote, just you saying, do you remember my cousin Vinny got me laughing out loud. Yeah, remember the guy who was like, I look out the window, and the window was filthy, hadn't been cleaned in years. We have the same type of window with screens and whatever, and one guy wears glasses, and the other guy spends all day and night spitting, and I don't know how they saw me out the window. Patrick Mason wrote, nothing like going to the core of the problem. There you go. Patrick Mason wrote, I couldn't agree more. When you don't need the money, it's a beautiful thing. Bonus is, you aren't burning a PTO. Oh, that's right, because they gave me time off. I haven't used it yet. Patrick Mason wrote, it's amazing. They just can't seem to catch the smokers, but they see everything else. That's true, and there's other things they don't see. Patrick Mason wrote, the most disturbing part of all of this, they make mistakes all day, every day, and they aren't held accountable for the mistakes. These guys make so many mistakes. Oh, that's that whole other show I want to talk about. They so many mistakes they make, so many stupid decisions they make too. Idiotic decisions and just thoughtless. And they're dummies. All right. So what you are saying is, Patrick Mason wrote, you are currently on parole and parole end dates. Parole end dates. Yeah, I'm on parole, I guess, yeah. They are a coaching tool only. I think he's talking about the drive cam. Smith's training, the point of no return. Patrick Mason wrote, the what ifs. What if I won the lottery? What if I were here driving a truck? Oh, would I be here driving a truck? Absolutely not. All right, are we almost done? Oh, I got to check the time. I feel like we're getting nervous. 28 minutes. Oh, I got to do this quickly. Come on, Dave, you can do it. Hit the button, do it right. Patrick Maruki wrote, we had to take the Smith training also. Patrick, you don't drive? You have that recording studio. That's interesting. I don't understand why Patrick would say that, but I guess once upon a time he had to take the Smith training. Linda Irwin wrote, sounds like they are trying to push you out of the company. Yeah, I said that to them in the meeting. I said, I think I'm being targeted. But whatever. They said no. Linda Irwin wrote, Hazel likes to pop in and listen when she is on breaks. Okay, there you go. I like Hazel dropping in. Linda Irwin wrote, they violated their own directive with the cameras. That's right, they did. Patrick Maruki came back with another comment. The managers have to show the higher-ups they are doing something instead of sitting on their asses. Yeah, good luck. Jeff Warner wrote, there you go, I'm still listening, Dave. Hal Aaron wrote, yet another case of an involuntary 5-day vacation forced upon a hardworking employee by ineffectual middle management suck-ups. Yeah! There you go. I think that's it. I think we got to go back to the recording app. Yeah, there you go. 29 minutes and 13 seconds. I did it. All right, so the only thing that we left now is, I think, 193, 194. Well, I'll get to it. All right, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate your comments. It's fun, right? It's fun that you are doing it in the Spreaker box. For those of you who are listening on Spotify, and there's a ton of you got to tweet me at Done with Dave or come on over to Spreaker. I really think it would be great if you came over to Spreaker. All right, guys, see you next episode. Thank you for listening to this episode of Dumbing It Down with Dave. Goodbye, good day, good night, good luck, good riddance, Godspeed, good racks, and great skills. Take care.